Hey, this is FRJH Racing back with Drift Crew Game, and I know it's been a while, and I also know I said I was going to work on implementing online, but with all this going on like COVID and some life changes, new job, stuff like that, I've completely refocused where I've been, developing on the game, and I have a lot of things to show that hopefully you guys can get some hype before I do actually release online. So basically what happened is when I started looking into the requirements for online and what I wanted the game to be, I realized that I needed to make things like the structure of the cars and the building style and UI to actually work beforehand. And there's some reasons why when I was testing that I came to this conclusion. The other thing is that I have successfully set up my server that I have another computer for, and I've connected it to it over the internet and moved a thing from one client to another. So I'm fully capable of doing that, and I was actually able to do that months ago, but now I'm trying to make this feature complete. So you might see a lot more UI elements, and that's been the major focus, as well as some building things. So first is I made this whole inventory system with, as you can see, nicely generated UI. You can do that. If I full screen it, it will change size. The other thing is I made a paint system, so you can pick like a color and like a style of cube, and as long as it's like a normal cube like this, it'll carry over. Next thing is I needed to be able to save this information, so if I save this, destroy it, and load it, you can see that colors can be implemented. So you can do that. We can mix and match if we go to paint. The paint style is a little bit different because of the material that you're used to, so you actually have to like pick the cube and then you can like apply that color. So also another thing I've added is middle click, so you can select a part that you want. The middle click at the moment doesn't support like capturing the material and color, but I will totally add that. Again, if I destroy this and load it, I did not save it, but the point is that it will actually save and load different colors. Next thing I added is the scale system, which is still in its infancy. As you can see here, this will be utilized down the line, but you can see some problems, like when I get to some integer values of scale, it doesn't, I need to actually scale it with the unit size of the cube. So as you can see at the moment, I need to like do every 2 scales, and then let's say you have like a whole bunch of different scale values, you can reset it. The scale value applies to the rotation, and it will let's see, I need to make it update when you spawn something new, and as you can see, this, like, the collisions aren't really correct. So overall there's some problems here, but for the most part it works. Also, when you put a scaled part, again, it does save it. So if I were to place this and save, destroy, and load, you can see it captures the material and the scaling. So that's another thing I've gotten kind of working here. Next thing is the slot system, which will be not like gambling slots, but like you put something in a slot system. So if we were looking at functional components, you eventually will be able to have compatible components. So for example, you can put a transmission on an engine, but you don't really put a transmission anywhere else. So I've created this engine mount to kind of showcase this on different levels, but you can place an engine mount. I also made some of these parts like smart in the way that they mirror. So let's also reset that. But as you can see, you can have mirror on some parts, and then for others you can don't have a mirror. So I have values for different parts like that. But anyway, the point is, back to the slots, is we can put the engine on the slot of the engine mount, and as you can see, I can rotate it too. This will be important for if you want to like make something like front wheel drive or something. I can now make other transmissions that are like transversely mounted and things like that. Also, if you were to place this eventually in the tune section, you'll be able to fine tune the rotation, or something like that. So that's what this will be for, but at the moment it doesn't do anything. Let's go to the transmission. We have another slot that it accepts as parts. So then if I go back to this and I pick a new color, I can continue building. And the mirror mode works pretty good. Finally, let's try to get the wheels mounted. So I was just working on these, and I made it so that they don't like spawn. Like if you try to like put it on different faces, it'll always go onto the face that's like most forward. But then I have to work on things like this. I still don't have like a, if other cubes like collide, don't place things. So that's something I'm working on. Again, with the middle click system, I have that totally working. So it's a nice to have kind of system. And if you thought I was done with features, you would be totally wrong. So let's get this going with the we have shortcut keys up with the number pads. Something I haven't really fixed yet is the differential. As you'll see here, it's still kind of tricky when it comes to placement, but as you could see with other parts, I have like a relative, like a master connection, and like an offset value. So I just haven't really set that up for the diff yet, but the point is that if I start this up, hopefully we'll as you can see, we're all good here. And I made like working brakes and stuff. There's some drifting. So finally, see if I can change your ride offset, your spring rate, and your damping, and then also the four-wheel steer system. Things that I've implemented before, but again, I'm just kind of showcasing them. The thing I wanted to add is that for the differential, I made it so that if you moved it or placed it from forward to back, it will apply drive to its location. So if you put the diff in the front, it becomes front wheel drive. If you put it in the back, it's rear wheel drive. I can save this, destroy it, and load it. I can also, if I accidentally, let's say I crashed or something weird, and I was like, something weird happened, and I didn't that I saved like something I didn't mean to, so I accidentally saved like this broken version. The recover is the last one that you drove with. So like if it crashes, anytime you drive something, and you forgot to save, it'll save it there. The next thing is I'm going to add a UI for saving multiple different cars. So that's on my next thing for the to-do list, alongside the scale to properly work. I just implemented scale to work with the save system and to scale the parts, but they at the moment do not have the proper collisions. So the collision system needs to be kind of fixed with the scale system. Next thing is parts. So now with the slot system, I can do things like take a rim or a tire or a wheel, whatever you want to call it. I can separate them into different parts. And since I have a compatibility system, you can't just place like a random part onto another. So let's destroy this. At the moment, you have to use the engine mount. Like I can't just place a motor wherever I want. As you can see, I'm clicking, but it says no way. It doesn't really want to place correctly. But then if I have the engine mount, which can go anywhere, it can even go in, let's see if this works. I haven't really tested this. Mounted here sideways, and mount the engine to the engine mount, and there you go. So you can actually, as long as you got an engine mount, you can mount your engine. Alright, so I can't like place another engine onto this location. No matter how hard I try, it will not let me. And see, it's not having it. But then if I try to put a transmission on there, it goes right onto it. So the slot system is specifically made to have compatibility with the part that you intend to connect to something. So what will this mean down the line is, like, let's say I want to split up the engine into individual parts, like the cylinder heads and the exhaust and the valve covers. If you're coming in here from Street Legal Racing Redline, you'll know exactly what this means. But basically you can build your parts up as you would logically with like a real engine, or the suspension parts like brake rotor, calipers, wheel, and then the tires. So everything can go on in the proper place, but you can't like mismatch parts. Also down the line, once I have this all the parts set up with the slots correctly, you will be able to have a UI that will warn you and actually show in 3D space little warning things like the car's not able to run if you don't have all the right parts. So that's kind of where I'm at now. I know it's been a while since I've made an update, but as you can see here, I got a lot of things working, and once I feel comfortable with the features I've added here, I can move forward with online. I know I keep alluding to online, but the online system, I already have a means of that working, but I want the foundation and all the stuff to work before that. And so I hope you guys can get back into this. I noticed some people leaving, and I haven't really been updating my channel a lot, but that's what's been going on, and hope you guys will stick around.